Hey everybody, guess what I'm about to do? Build a pool! Let's go! Oh, not that one. There we go. Oh yeah. First day completed, and today I have managed to do this. It's about 1.5 meters deep and about 7 meters wide. So to remove the soil, I first dig it up to a pile over here, and then I move it to another pile over here. Day 2 of my pool building project, and today I will have a guy with a tractor come and remove this, well, pile of dirt. Alright, so this is how much I've dug out so far. It's quite large. I knew I was gonna dig a lot, but when I'm down here it feels a lot more than I was expecting. It's a lot of dirt, a lot of dirt. It's the end of day 2 and it's looking great so far. So this is how much I have dug up. As you can see, it's only that corner over there that is left. The rest is pretty much done. I also dug up over there against the house. In the basement I will have all the pool equipment that will, like heater and pump and filter and everything like that. So day 3 is finally here and I should be done with all this digging today. I only have this small corner left. Alright, so I'm done digging. And there's a few things I need to do. I need to clean up all this debris over here so it gets flat and nice. And try to make it so this area over here is higher than this area over here. So the water will flow from this side to this side and into the drainage over there. It's time to level this pool floor. Now, when I rented the excavator, it was paid by the day, and I was very rushed to get it done in just 2 days. So that's why the bottom of the pool looks kind of Not so good. This is how it looks like. As you can see, it's pretty uneven. In some places, for example over here, it's quite high, and that's not where it's supposed to be high. It's very low down here in the bottom, which means I need to remove material from here and move it over there. Now to do that, I use a rotation laser like that one. It shoots out a beam that rotates all around the place like this. But during the day we can't see it. It's very, very dim. But what can see it is one of these devices. So when the laser hits in this area over here, this will tell me if it's below the middle line or above it. And I set the height of this pole to the depth I want it to be. Down here it says nothing. Okay, so this is the floor. Rise it up a little bit. There we go. Too high. There. But the problem is, as you can see, it's not touching. It's actually too high. So at this place I need to fill it up a little bit. So that is what I will do on this entire floor. It's quite a lot of job to do. I wish I had some better tools to do it than these two. A shovel and a homemade compactor thing. It works really good, but it will take a lot of time to do. Alright, so I came up with a fairly good idea. That seems to work well. I just tried it out. If I put sand on top of this wet clay over here, it will act like a non-stick surface so that I can flatten it out with my compactor like I've done over here. It seems to work really good. Now if I don't put sand on top of this clay and try to compact it, what will happen is that the compactor here will fasten on the clay and it will just become a pure mess. Now with clay like this, you don't want to compact it too much, because the more you disturb it, it becomes more like a liquid and very hard to work with. You can see here that it's very soft right now compared to this over here that is fairly firm. And if I start to work my feet like this, eventually water will come up. A tiny bit is enough. There we go. Now the drainage system I will connect to my house downpipe system. All I need to do now is connect a Y pipe like that, and then a normal sewage pipe that will lead from over there to here, and then I will have all around the edges of the pool drainage pipes. To connect two pieces like these, it's really good to use some kind of silicone lube of some kind. It makes a world of difference when you're connecting these two. Alright, so that didn't turn out as I was hoping. Yeah, that's way too high up. That is way too high. I need to be almost at the ground level there. So what I need to do now is a little bit more complex. So after messing around quite a bit, this is the solution I came up with. Added a few more couplings here and there, but in the end it turned out great. All I have to do now is connect the pipe from over here to there. Wow! 5 seconds after I was done putting down this pipe with all the connections and everything, this happened. All the sand came down from the side and did cover all the connections. Whew. Yeah, that was kind of lucky, I guess. Would have been so sad if all that got into a pipe. Oh well. Next up, I will put this geotextile across the floor and across all the walls. Now to fasten the geotextile, I will use normal nails, like these ones. The clay is very hard, so these work perfect for that. Almost end of day 4, and I still have the drainage pipes to install. Drainage pipe, you can see they have small perforated holes, and that allows water to seep into these pipes and then be transported away. And that should hold the pool pretty dry. And that's it. All done. have to stop myself right here before I do something very stupid. These pipes, even though I'm gonna cover them with gravel, they will never be truly out of the way, because I'm gonna have these poles all around the pool that will support it while I build it. And those poles need to be able to go down into the ground without piercing these pipes. I need to push these pipes a little bit further out to the edges, so the poles will be able to mount without piercing the tubes. This 90-degree angle is meant to mount a pipe much like this, so that I can from the top flush the system. And I will put one angle on this pipe as well, so I can flush both ways. And this should prolong the life of this drainage system quite a lot. So if they ever clog up for some reason, I can just flush it, so I don't have to dig it up and replace it. The rain came. And I finally got myself a pool. At the corner here is the highest point, obviously, because there's no water here. And there, all the water is over there, which is good. Pushing that pipe down a little bit. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it's working. It is working, that's good. Okay, the pool that was here with all that water, I couldn't really bear it, so I removed the geotextile here and filled it up with a little bit of sand. So as you can see now, there's barely any water at the surface. Oh, the wrong way. Here we go. You see? Looks much better. So the thing I'm gonna do right now is I have a tractor here that's gonna help me. I'm gonna fill the bottom with gravel. It's coming right now up here. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cover the pipes so the pipes are in place, and then I'm gonna fill the rest of the bottom. Alright, so now the drainage pipes are fixed in place, we can start to cover them up with gravel. Now the reason why I take one full bucket of gravel and cover the pipe each time is that if I just take one piece of shovel, the gravel will not be heavy enough to keep the pipe down. But if I take a whole bucket at one time, it is heavy enough to keep the pipe into place. Now to further even out the gravel, I will use this 2x4 to drag it along the gravel. That will remove all the tops and fill in all the valleys. So let's take a moment and discuss about things I have done and why I have done it and how things actually work. Let's start with this geotextile. The reason why I have put it up on the walls like this are to prevent the clay or the soil to mix with the gravel. It will let water seep through it, but it will not let any clay get through it. That way the water can flow very freely through this gravel and away to the drainage system. This geotextile is extremely important to use. You should not do this without it. Because if you do it without this textile, the soil will eventually mix with the gravel and fill up the gravel, so the drainage system stops working. The water will no longer flow through the gravel. Now this area over here, it was meant just to be a narrow, thin area towards the pipe over there, but it caved in. But that's actually kind of good, because this area has been my unload area, where I put all the gravels and soil and everything I don't need. I just put it here. That's just perfect. And on top of that, it was sand over here. And the sand I took to level out of the pool. Getting this gravel perfectly level is not very important. It should be about as it is right now though. Because these are made of clay and soil, they're not really solid. They look solid right now, the walls, but they're not really solid. So with heavy downpour, this can become very loose and actually fall down in behind the geotextile here, which mean I have to loosen the geotextile and remove the soil that have fallen down. When installing the geotextile, like I have done here, try to find a really wide one. This is 5 meters wide and it was like 28 meters long or something like that. The reason why I took it so wide is because I need to do fewer overlaps, which in turn saves me a lot of material. You can see here's a huge overlap. This is way too big. This is almost like a meter overlap, but that's because, well, I had that to spare. Now overlapping, it should be done at least 30 centimeters or about a foot. And all the corners is overlapping as well. Now you can't see it right now, but at the edge here, I was overlapping the geotextile from the walls with the ones I had on the floor. When you do the groundwork, look at the weather report. Make sure there is no rain coming. Because if you have a clay bottom and there comes water in here and you still have to shovel and dig away, it can get extremely messy very, very fast, and you do not want that to happen. The clay expands with the water, and when it dries up, it shrinks down and it can create some real issues. So what you should try to do is get all this work done before any rain comes down, because if there's rain, there is problem. But when you get this point where I am right now, rain isn't really an issue. This floor here is really good to work on and walk on, and because I have a drainage system installed, there will be no water issues. You have to accept that your backyard will be completely destroyed while doing this project. There will be huge pits, there will be dug up things, there will be clay, there will be water, there will be everything everywhere. Back to this pit again, this all-in-one pit. As you can see, I put a ladder so I can go walk up and down, and the reason why I have it over here and not in the pool is so that if I put the ladder on the pool edge here, there is a risk for soil falling into the pool, and I do not want that. So having it like this was actually very optimal for me. Because I'm gonna make this pool out of wood, drainage is very, very important. No parts of any wood I will use will be in direct contact with water. The worst thing you can do, the absolute worst thing, is to put the soil you excavated back around the pool. Having the soil in direct contact with the wood, it will break down in a few years. So use gravel around the pool if you want to have your pool a very, very long time. So it's early morning and I just came out and I saw this. Oh my god. It is a huge chunk of clay that has come loose. I feel lucky that it hasn't flipped over and landed in the gravel, but man, this is huge. Alright, so I have just removed most of the clay that was pressing against the geotextile here. I have decided to leave this big chunk as it is because it doesn't hang out from the wall all that much. So that's okay. Another thing is that it do provide some protection and support for the clay behind it. So leaving it would probably be the best option. I don't see it falling down more than it already has. However, if I do remove it, there is a chance that the clay behind it will come down. So yeah, I just leave that. So it's a little bit later today. I went to a water park with my family and had a really good time. And while I was gone, this guy come by and wrap up this plate compactor for me that I'm gonna use to shake the gravel to the ground and make it really flat and hard. To get a really good result, I will do this twice. I can do it 3 times as well, but twice is enough. The gravel is now as compact as it possibly can be, and this is the perfect foundation for a pool.